All right, we are streaming.
Cool.
We are streaming. Hello, world. Swear there's some kind of delay for me on YouTube.
What do
Oh
you
yeah,
mean?
no, it's not instant. Our
Oh,
delay last week was like hella crazy though.
yeah, I thought so.
Oh yeah,
I think
Brad.
it
I
was a
don't I don't know what the heck happened with last week's episode, but your volume was so low. It was insane. You were like, so like this is Matt. This was Matt. He's like blah 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 blah, and you're like blah 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 blah.
I have an idea since I'm pulling my audio directly from my microphone instead of through Google Hangouts.
Got you,
I
got
think
you.
the settings might have been different on my
Okay. I was
OBS.
like, what the
Thanks for
heck
pointing that
happened?
out. I'll go look at it.
Yeah, no problem.
Sources, audio input capture.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, yeah, you just reminded me I gotta change that as well. So that they can hear the awesome sounds of our interview.
Awesome sounds.
Um,
Oh yeah,
okay.
we got a fun interview today, boys, and it was not conducted by me, which is why it's fun.
Huh.
Huh. Audio output capture, audio mic. Oh yeah, my microphone's at
Sticky.
my microphone is at
Ugh, it's the
41%.
worst.
Let's put my microphone at like 80%. How about that?
Turn that shit up to 11.
We'll make it 90.
Ugh. Phone's
Hi,
all
Harry. Yes, you're allowed to
sticky.
come in now.
All right.
What?
Can you hear me better?
Don't mind me. I'm just complaining. No, we could hear
It
you
was
fine from the
just okay.
beginning.
It
I
was
don't.
just
Yeah,
all
I
right. I
just don't
figured
know
it out.
what.
It
Your
was my it was on
waveforms
40%.
were like this big, and then Matt's were like that big.
Yeah, my microphone input was at 41% on OBS.
I'm also loud.
So yeah, but
And you got a good mic.
41%. 41% kind of is like nothing compared to 100%.
All right, guys. Well, for those who are joining us, we are late today because I was,
Thanks, John.
I spilled my tea all over my desk. My
Wah,
mouse pad's
wah.
soaked and it's drying somewhere else, and my mouse is, well, everything's all sticky and bleh. But my girlfriend was kind enough to help me clean it up, and it sucked because it was this here hibiscus lemonade.
Ooh,
And I
that
spilled
sounds
it
nice.
all over the place. I know. I put half the bottle in here and then spilled it. So that really sucks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy another one since everyone's like, "Hey, I got this really cool stuff for you," and I'm like, "What is it?" And then it was that, and I'm like, "Cool, I'm gonna drink it during the podcast." And then I spilled that shit all over the place.
And then you ruined it.
Oh, it's the worst. So, yeah. Let's. Oh, I don't know why, because I'm not in the app.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Yes.
I got the L email O. And we've got Harry who is here already. And Matt has a nice background because it's Nevada. And don't
It's very pretty.
dare say it's California or this show is over.
I quit.
All right, what are we wearing today? So I got the second. Actually, we'll save this for the actual podcast. We'll go ahead and start. What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 63 of 1868 Weekly. I'm your host, John Macluso. Today, joined by Matt Rafferty. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Hello. I am doing quite well, man. How about yourself?
I am doing okay. I'm alive and mostly happy. Brad, how are you doing today?
I had a great day of the Mondays. Over the weekend, I somehow managed to lose my grandfather's ring that's super important to me. Has no monetary value. It's all whatchamacallit, sentimental
Yeah,
value.
for sure.
So I had a day of the Monday blues with that.
It's a bummer.
It's okay. I'm not like devastated, but I am upset.
Brad loses his ring. I spill my tea all over my desk. What about you, Matt? What ill will has befallen you, my friend?
My hands are still all blistery from Saturday.
His hands are blistery from Saturday. That sounds kind of awful.
Yeah, it happens.
It does. Let's talk about what's on the docket, though. Yeah, losses happen, so we'll talk about that. But hey, preseason, we're still 0-0-0, and That's what we'll be talking about a little bit today. Got some highlights to share with you. Got a fun interview that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. And I don't think you guys will understand what I mean by that until you hear the interview. And here's something to keep you hanging on there. It was not conducted by yours truly. Yeah, I wonder who else it could be. It wasn't either of these two fine gentlemen either, so that'll be fun. And then we got to talk about a match coming up. It's like the season's starting on Friday or something. So let's go ahead and jump into this preseason game. Well, actually, first, let's go and talk about where in Nevada is Matthew Rafferty. It's been a couple weeks since I've played this game, at least. So, Matt, where could
Why don't you go ahead and take the first
possibly
crack?
be? Give me the first crack. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I do not recognize the mountain range. It's not. It's not the Sierras.
I'll give you a hint. It's not terribly far from Reno.
Okay.
It would be considered in the metro area.
In the metro area. In the metro area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to
Which
think
is
of
huge.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the buildings in the background. I feel like this is not in Spanish Springs.
No, it is not in Spanish Springs.
Okay, so we're playing in. I guess we'll play the where is Matt not, and then narrow it down to possibly where is Matt, and I guess we'll talk. Okay, so it's not Spanish Springs. I feel like this could possibly be the North Valleys, like further north. No, this doesn't look like that either.
You're getting colder. Just like the snow up on those peaks.
Huh.
If
I'm getting colder going north, then I'm gonna have to assume.
I already have my guess. Can I before he
go for it? Go
uses
for it.
50 guess? This is Minden.
Minden.
This is Minden.
All right, John,
I think.
And what do you think, John?
Well, if it's not north, I would have to guess south. But I wasn't gonna go as far south as Minden. I was gonna go Washoe Valley. But that building on the right side, it's not. You won't find something like that in Washoe Valley. So that's why I'm kind of like, you know. And you said it's in the Reno metro area.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't think that's in Washoe Valley. You told me already it's not the North Valleys, so I'm gonna have to assume that it's in the west.
Yeah, but how much farther can you go west from Reno before you hit California?
I mean, you go pretty far west. Like this could be Peavine.
Peavine's well into Nevada, though.
That's like northwest.
Hmm.
Nah, it's a little bit further north than west, actually.
All right, so what's your guess? What are you saying?
All right, so I've guessed like 3 out of 4 directions.
Right.
You know, you know what? I'm gonna guess out by Tesla, USA Parkway. No, I'm gonna sit on that. I can't picture any of these areas in the south, and if they're not in the North Valleys, then I gotta go with the west somewhere, and it doesn't look like it either. All right, sure, yeah, we're gonna stick with that.
No, you're gonna kick yourself, Brad. You had it.
Yay!
Brad, well done.
I totally, you're like Reno metro area. I'm like, okay, hold on one second. Open up Google Maps. If you saw, I shared my screen. It was the little picture, and it matched up perfectly. And I'm like, yep.
So
it's
Brad
taken
cheated.
I do this every week.
Yeah, right.
I do this every week, and that was my guess as soon as you said it's not North Valleys.
Yeah, it's taken from Minden of the Genoa area, like the Kingsbury grade that you can take it to South Lake Tahoe.
So I get a point, but I don't think we've ever tracked these points.
Is Kingsbury? Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, that's an old
solid.
pass.
Yeah, I got you. All right, let's move on. So I lost. Brad cheated, but won. It doesn't matter how you
I
get
do that
there.
every week. Is it cheating if you do it every week? Yes. You have not told me I cannot do that.
If the Patriots cheat every game, it doesn't count because they cheat every game.
Oh, now you're calling me the
No,
ass.
no,
I
we're
guess
getting
now we can talk
philosophical
about the
here, yeah.
Astros.
Okay, so Bradgate.
Bradgate. That's exactly what this is. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this match. Yeah.
Yes.
How was it, guys? How was it?
Beautiful
Matt,
day.
You've got blisters. It was a beautiful day. It was a little windy, but not too shabby. It didn't go our way.
It did not go our way.
No.
You're absolutely right.
Good observation.
Not too
I think-
upset.
I feel like the general. I mean, I'm upset with almost half of the game. I realize that they're slotting into a new style of play, but the first 30 minutes were kind of hard to watch. They did really start to click at the end of the first half. In the second half, they looked pretty good. They were actually holding their own.
Yeah.
But not the greatest showing.
Yeah, a little rough for sure. What are your thoughts, Brad?
There's a couple things I learned from this match. One, Brent Richards is a huge deal and really needs to be appreciated for everything he does. Not seeing him in that lineup sucks. The second thing is Sam Gleadle is also not a right back. He was scored on, I think it was the last one by Avila. That was between him and Jiggy, and it got scored between the two of them. And 3, Joseph Greenspan is an absolutely monstrous individual. He's like 6'6". He looks every single bit like he makes people that are normal sized look like babies. I don't know. He's a huge man.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because Angela was talking about before the game. She was looking through our current roster, and we don't exactly have the biggest team. I think Jiggy is actually the tallest at like 6'2" or so. Corey's about 6 foot, and yeah, that's really about all our size.
While we are talking about this, guys, I'm gonna play these highlights. I have them on, I have them on repeat. So we've got all 6 goals. Yeah, it was 4-2.
Yep.
We have all 6 goals, and they're just gonna play on repeat. So we can go ahead and keep talking. And these are it's important. These are courtesy of Reno 1868 FC. I kind of borrowed them from YouTube. So
There you go.
yeah. Continue. Sorry, I just want to let you guys know that you're not on camera, so that's good.
Okay, that's fair. They did seem to turn it up, and a lot of guys were playing out of position. A lot of guys, a few guys that had just showed up to the team and hadn't really clicked, hadn't had a chance to get to know everybody, get to know the pitch, the elevation, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, San Diego, they were hungry. They're going to look to prove themselves early in the season because they're taking a lot of shots that, I mean, some of them they had no business taking. Then they had a couple of really good strikes on free kicks that ended up in goals. But I mean, they look good.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Who else looked good? Let's talk about Reno for a minute. Which players do you guys feel like stand out? And I think we all have at least a consensus.
How about it, Brad? I was just talking.
I mean, I think I know what his consensus is, and I think that's Corey with 2 goals.
Mm-hmm.
I moderately have to agree with you if you're watching the highlights a little bit. The first one absolutely, deserves a shout out. Corey puts back a rebound given up by the keeper. I don't remember the keeper's name, but good putback, open net, pretty easy shot for him.
Yeah,
just one shot. The second one was a penalty kick, and I don't even think he was the one that earned it. I think that was Apodaca. So, if you're going to say Corey, I'm going to moderately disagree with you on that one.
Sorry, sneeze. Kind of sounded like you agreed there, Brad. You went one way. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna have to moderately agree, and then you said you're gonna have to moderately disagree. There's either
no, I
agreeing
didn't say
or
agree.
disagreeing.
I didn't say agree. I said I think I know who you're talking about. I disagree that Corey had a super standout performance. I think, 2 goals is always good and always keeping your head in, but the second goal was a penalty kick, and although it was a beautiful penalty, it's still a penalty kick. I can't really put too much stock into it other than that.
Sure. I mean, I never said super standout. I said which players stand out, and he stood out because when we were losing, he's the only one who scored. I mean, yeah, sure, you can say that. You can say that. Oh, he just caught a rebound and scored, right? But I mean, he was in a good place. He was ready for it, and he scored.
Yeah, I'm not discounting the first one. I'm discounting the second one.
Oh, sure. So who else that scored a goal would you put ahead of him?
Who else would you ask a flawed question to?
It's not a flawed question. It's the truth.
Flawed, no. Loaded, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. That's the whole point of me asking the question. Looks like I ran out of bit here, so we'll go ahead and start it back over. All right. So then, who else impressed you then? Or if he didn't, who would you give the game ball to for Reno?
You still got to give it to Corey. I mean, 2 goals is like
what's happening here? What is going on?
Yeah, I'm so confused, man.
Oh my gosh, I don't think anybody particularly stood out.
Okay,
otherwise.
that's fair.
That's kind of what I was going to say, really.
Sure.
There wasn't a lot of chance to really analyze what people were doing because no one was really clicking. It was hard to get any kind of attack going. The defense was on their heels a lot. San Diego, like Alan was saying last week, our guest from San Diego, that they press high, and hot damn, they pressed high. And I feel like this new system wasn't quite ready for it. They were still fitting in. At the smoothies that we always do before a game, Corey was saying that he actually really likes this group, that he thinks that this group looks really good, maybe even better than last season's, but it's a matter of getting comfortable with each other. He said that's really all that needs to happen before the click happens.
I think chemistry is in few sports is it more important than soccer. I would argue maybe hockey, and then that's probably about it. Even with hockey, you're pretty much only comfortable with your lines. So
yeah.
And in soccer, you need to be comfortable with your entire team. So, and it's interesting. We'll see. It was good seeing Matt Bersano back down. He's a great goalie. It was kind of cool seeing Marcinkowski's name next to the San Jose Earthquakes roster. That was kind of nice. Finally seeing him. I mean, he's backing up Vega, but awesome. Good for both of our goalies. Happy to have Bersano. He's rocking the long hair again. So that's cool. Yeah. I mean, Brad, to your credit, I kind of feel you. I kind of understand what you're saying. I was just kind of fishing it out of you, because
yeah, I know.
Yeah, you just gotta, this is a podcast, and we want to be respectful to everyone on the team, but I feel like that's something that can be said sometimes. No one really stood out, and so
I choose to be a little more constructive about the game in of itself, and there's one spot Antonio kind of mentioned it in the comments, although he was very cryptic about it. The flaw that Antonio in the comments is talking about is the defense looked pretty flat. Alfaro got beat a couple times.
Sorry, I'm just gonna let you guys know we're just gonna come out of the highlights. Sorry, continue.
Okay. Alfaro was flat-footed a lot. I felt like Budati was a kind of trialist. He's signed, but he's not announced. I think is Budati. Stati was, I think, the only back line person that I think played relatively well, and that's really on a distributing edge. And then I know how Herzog was saying good things about the squad. How come we had Haji playing the whole game from San Jose? How come we had Fuentes? I guess the only positive thing I can say about the San Jose guys right now is rumor is from the team that they're going to be spending more time with us up here in Reno. That instead of coming up the day before matches in the future, they're going to come up on like a Tuesday or Wednesday and stay throughout the weekend, which is a huge plus. That's kind of what we were hoping for as kind of a middle ground. If they are going to send these guys up, at least do this. But other than that, like the offense itself was doing good at distributing, not doing a good job at finishing, but that'll come with time. But that defense needs to be improved, and I think Bersano didn't look up to his normal. So looking forward to him playing better in the regular season, but just a preseason.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all fair. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, like he really capped it off on the end there. It's preseason.
Yeah.
It really doesn't mean a whole lot. We've had some successful preseasons. We've had some, bombers of preseasons, and in the end, we always made the playoffs, even though it wasn't a terribly deep run. But always very much an attacking threat throughout the season. Even with a bumpy start, it always ends up being us towards the top, in the top 4. If not, like one season we finished 5th. So like we're doing all right. This is like a real time game. Seemed like they were going 100%, if not like 90% or so. So you have a real assessment of how they look, fitness wise, talent wise, and chemistry wise. And Ian's got some time now to figure out what worked, what didn't, and what needs to be fixed.
Yeah. There were a few spurts that I thought Reno looked pretty solid. There were a couple times where the ball was on San Diego's side for a while. And so, that looked good. Possession looked good for the most part, I thought. Defense, a little bit rough around the edges. But, again, it's all, it's preseason. And we've had a couple seasons now, 3, where the team has started out a little bit rough. And, that didn't matter. So, I'm not too worried about the team going into Tacoma on Friday. I feel pretty good, and I'm excited just to get the season started, Excited to not say playoffs, Let's get into the regular season, yeah? And let's talk about that now. Who do we got coming up on Friday?
This is one of
Yes.
the biggest question marks of the season is what are we looking at with Tacoma? Obviously, they are slated to be down there, but I don't know if I'm trying to look up if they've played any preseason games. I don't think they have.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any news about it, but then again, I've not been searching out for Tacoma.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So we have been here before, though. You never know what to expect in any sport over, of any team for the first 2 to 3 weeks. We're not going to really. We're kind of, a little bit like these teams themselves. We're in the dark. We don't know what to expect yet. And that's kind of that's exactly what these next few weeks, as far as previewing these matchups, is going to be. Yeah, I mean, we won't even really know when we're 3 matches into the season. We're going to be like, oh, okay, Reno may have won this one, Reno may have lost this one. It could have been this, it could have been that, and none of it's really. It's all kind of just magic and opinion. I don't know. Magic's not the right word, but it's all kind of made up, make believe, until we start getting a feeling for a lot of these teams. You guys know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So really, we're gonna use big words, and we're gonna use soccer lingo, and we'll sound like we'll know what we're talking about until we finally know what we're talking about. That's how it is, right, Brad?
Yeah.
So what do
like
we
that.
know about Tacoma?
I mean,
Standout
man.
players.
Really, who knows?
Yeah.
Standout play, because what kind of turnover are we looking at from a bottom of the table team who is a feeder team for who is somehow the feeder team for the MLS champions?
Right.
It's really weird. So we might end up seeing some send downs because Seattle's going to be a favorable place to be considering their success last year. And then you're going to see a lot of guys that end up getting sent down because they can't make the senior team or they just want the minutes. So, I mean, who knows what we're going to see? I can't even. The USL Championships website is kind of jacked up. I'm having a hard time even looking up their team's little setup.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So let's not concentrate on Tacoma then. Let's concentrate on Reno. What can we expect from Reno on Friday? based on what we've seen, what we saw on Saturday, and based on what we heard and read about the friendlies. Can we expect a similar lineup to the match or the players that Ian put on the field on Saturday? And for those who don't know off the top of their head, the lineup was Matt Bersano, Ayrton Stady, Thomas Janjigian, Tony Alfaro, Yunus Budadi, Sam Gleadle, Alex Burkholz, Gilbert Fuentes, Tucker Bone, Kevin Pertita, Cristiano Francois, Corey Herzog, Siad Haji, Aiden Apadaga, and then Foster Langsdorf. And Alex, Sam, and Tucker and Foster were all subbed in. And you're looking at it right there. That's the starting 11 for Saturday. Thank you for putting that up, Brad.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I mean, is this kind of going to be... Was Ian trying some things, or is this kind of what we're going to expect for the season? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. It may have been him trying some stuff because, we did see some names that, we weren't expecting who might be kind of trialists. And, you have who the expected captain, Brent Richards, is not in, which is very strange.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this was for graphic design reasons, but for some reason this has them set up in a 4-3-3, though we know that they are a 4-4-2 diamond.
Right.
So, I thought that was kind of odd. But like Haji, Fuentes, we're going to see them like shoved in there here and there. We saw him a lot last season, and I would imagine we're going to see him a lot this season. But, maybe 7-8 of the same guys here you're going to see starting on Friday, I would imagine.
I'm just speculating here, just like Matt is. Under what I am anticipating, Budadi is not going to be playing. You're going to see Brent, unless Brent is injured and the team doesn't like revealing injuries.
They do not.
No. So unless Brent is injured, which we can only speculate about, I saw him after the game but didn't really get to talk to him. I had to leave early. So expect Brent and Budadi in Budadi's role. I don't expect to see Fuentes and Haji necessarily in the next game. If they are, I expect Haji's going to get subbed out a lot sooner. And maybe Fuentes at halftime. Instead, I would expect... I don't really know. I had a person in mind and then kind of blanked out. Like a Tucker Bone. I thought Tucker Bone played really well when he was on the pitch. In addition to Foster Langsdorf.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
I would expect, if I were to make any changes with this, obviously Brent goes where Budadi is. Hopefully the back center mids step up their game. I think Alfaro and Jiggy played bad over the preseason, but really changing Fuentes for Tucker Bone and Haji for Foster Langsdorf, or Apodaca for Foster Langsdorf. Yeah. That's going to be what we see. I think Tucker and Foster, every time I see them, they're together at the kit reveal, at the meet the team event, and at the game. They played really well together. So that's the one change I want to see, is those two have some sort of chemistry. I'd like to see that in a regular season game.
Yeah, Brad, I mean, I completely agree. I think that it'd be very surprising to see Foster not start on Friday. And then I totally I like Fuentes. He's good. He's young, but I totally agree with Gleadle. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's one name I'd like to see in instead of like Fuentes.
So Gleadle, Sam brings a lot of speed, and I think that could be complemented by Mr. Cheetah there on the opposite side. Of course, I mean, this is not what they'd be going with. They'd be going with the diamond, but you guys know what I mean. So, right. So I like to see some speed, definitely on the wings, on both sides, and I think Sam and Mr. Cheetah can both do that. Are we gonna call him that? We're gonna call him Mr. Cheetah?
Mr. Cheetah, I like that.
Mr. Cheetah. We're a respectful, classy podcast, okay? Mr. Cheetah just makes me want to like twirl my mustache as I say it.
Yes.
yes, Mr.
Nice to
Cheetah.
meet you, Mr. Cheetah.
So notice that the only one with the mustache is without the mustache is staying quiet. But yeah,
Well, he can't curl it in his fingers, man.
Brad, I mean I completely agree. I think throw in some Sam Gleedle, throw in some Foster Langsdorf, and of course some Brent Richards. I think we got a fun, exciting, flashy lineup that could be quick. That's what I want. I want some speed. I want some like Duke Lacroix on both sides. You know what I mean? And I think this is probably how we accomplish that.
Yeah, and I almost wonder if the players that he put out initially and then subbed in, maybe the guys that subbed in later, like we wanted to see more Bone, more Langsdorf.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't quite up to the fitness level that Eden was hoping that they would be at. So he couldn't give them the full minutes. And maybe he was just looking for a few more assessment points on some players that he wasn't quite sure about, or some certain positioning he wasn't quite sure about. So this is all trial and error. It's preseason. Doesn't matter. It's whose line is it anyway, or the points don't matter. So. I mean, in Eden we trust. We say it every week.
Totally, yeah. And we're definitely he's good for it. He'll figure it out. He knows more about soccer than we three probably combined.
Oh yeah.
So let the man handle it. You don't go to an oral surgeon and tell them how to do their job. You just let them do their job, and then they take you to playoffs, and then that's that. I'm of course not referring to the oral surgeon.
I was about to say that's really impressive. The oral surgeon.
I mean, they're very smart people. I don't know, pulling teeth. Like scoring goals. All right. I think we kind of did a pretty good job in doing the best preview of this next match that we can do. We don't know much about Tacoma. All we know is what we've gotten out of Reno the last few weeks, and I think Brad, Matt, and I took our best shot at this starting lineup on Friday. Unless you guys think maybe you didn't do a good enough job. I think you guys did great. I feel like Brad especially, you and I definitely agree, and then Matt, you didn't disagree. So
yeah.
Any final comments on this match on Friday? Do we have a location for the watch party yet?
The website is listing Good Hops, but I know that we're going in to talk with some of the front office peeps to see what we're planning on doing for watch parties going forward and other kind of like supporter stuff. So I think we'll know more in a couple days and make sure to blast it out to everybody.
Cool. Yeah, and so keep an eye on the social medias. I'm talking about Douglas Alley Renegade social media, Battleborn Brigade social media, 1868 Weekly. And then if you guys are fans of this podcast and you are not following Reno 1868 FC, look, we got to have a conversation with you right now. You should be following the team that we're supporting, right? So, like them because they will definitely have information on the watch party. What usually happens is Reno 1868 drops the information, and then we all kind of just share it. Sometimes with comments, sometimes without comments. But I've made it a point to cancel my normal Friday plans to be able to go to this watch party, so I'll be there. Barring any random shenanigans, because for some reason random shenanigans have been popping up on me lately, but I don't see anything like that happening. And then, of course, that lovely bearded gentleman that you guys are looking at with the beautiful Nevada background will be there. And then this lovely, serious-faced fellow who actually does have a mustache. I guess just not long enough to twirl quite yet. Maybe
I just trimmed it the other day, so I don't grow facial hair. I grow individual whiskers.
It's all good. Actually, that mustache looks like it's coming in pretty clean. So we three will be here, and the Battleborn Brigade will be there, and I'm sure Douglas Alley will be there. A lot of people who are very committed to this team will be there, and many people of the front office. Come on down. Wear these. Wear your jerseys. Better if they have your name on it so people can identify the back of you. And we'll come and have some brews because I'm sure wherever we're going is going to have beer, and we'll all have a good time. And bring a friend.
Yeah.
Bring a friend, always. A friend or 7. All right, so I have a fun interview for you guys today. Imagine going to Media Day, talking to all of these players that you heard from last week and that you heard from on social media when I posted all those interviews. And then imagine an assistant coach coming up to you and telling you, I want to be a reporter. That is exactly what Chris Malinab came up to me and said. So he interviewed none other than Benji. And I mean, I told him, I'm like, he's like, I want to interview someone. And we're like, well, I'm like looking around. He's like, who do you want to interview? And he looked behind him. He's like, hey, Benji. And so
I was expecting to hear the words, he interviewed me. And I'm like, okay.
No, I have the assistant coach interviewing one of his players, and of course it's a fun conversation. You guys know I love Chris. Everybody should know this by now. He's a great guy. He does a lot for mental health awareness, which is great, and he's just fun. And his conspiracy theories are so wacky, but fun. The cold envelope, anybody? But yeah, why don't we watch what these two have to talk about now? Just for some context, they are both Sac State alumni, so that's kind of where this interview went, and then it went into something crazy, and we'll talk about it, guys. We'll talk about it. Here it is.
All right, Benji, you're a fellow Sac State guy.
Yes, sir.
I graduated from Sac State probably well before you were born.
Yeah.
When I was at Sac State, our mascot was Herky, but that was prior to steroids.
Yeah.
How does Herky look now?
Herky right now he's swole. He's been hitting the gym lately. Probably he's been shooting up a little bit, but he's massive. So he's big. I don't know when you went to college, but compared to how you just explained him, right now he's massive.
Okay, being from California, in and out. Are you an in and out guy?
Kinda.
Yeah.
I think it's overrated. If you ask
Oh,
me.
in and out's overrated.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's not in and out, what is it? Willie's?
What is that?
You're from Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know Willie's Burgers?
No, I've never been there in my
Oh,
life.
you're embarrassing. Okay, if it's not in and out, then what burger place?
Five Guys, I think, or McDonald's. You can't go wrong with McDonald's.
Okay, here's the big question. Okay,
Sure.
Who's your favorite Sacramento soccer player of all time?
Sacramento soccer player.
Yeah,
of all time?
based out of Sacramento.
I don't even know who. Give me options. I don't even know who's based in Sacramento. I'm gonna say myself.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. But there's guys that played on the national team: Ryan Suarez, Sasha Victorine, DJ Countess. Those are MLS guys. Kevin Goldthwait. Yeah, there's a lot of MLS guys. So
Yeah.
until you get there, I think you should look up on who's played MLS games.
Okay, I will, but I've never heard of any of those guys. But hey, I'm gonna look into it and then we'll go from there.
And there you are, Sacramento interviewing
Hey.
Sacramento players.
Stingers
up.
That's it. You guys have just officially heard from reporter Chris Malinab.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was actually sitting on this specifically for today. I was like, I'm gonna use this next week because I did plan on being on the show last week, but I had my wisdom teeth taken out, in case you guys were curious. So it was a little hard to talk. Yeah, that's why I couldn't make it last week because I could not open
we
my
knew.
mouth. Apparently, Matt didn't.
I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for informing me.
What a butthead.
He
Yeah, right.
texted it. He
So,
Facebooked it.
I actually think I called out like at work for the first time, like the day after, because I couldn't talk. Talking is a very important part of journalism, Matt. Anyway, yeah, so I want to talk about this interview real quick. McDonald's? What?
He said
Okay.
Five Guys. That's a legitimate
Okay, so no,
answer.
he
Five Guys.
no, he started fine. Like Five Guys is great, and they have
Yeah.
amazing Cajun French fries.
Yes.
So I thought he started out great, Matt. And then he said McDonald's? Like, that's when I almost broke the cameraman roll. I like looked to my left and Kevin looked to his right, and we made eye contact, and I almost ended the interview right there. McDonald's? Ugh. Anyway,
Sorry, I can't listen to anything he says. I can't listen to any of his opinions and take him seriously after he said that In-N-Out's overrated. Sorry, I can't.
So I'm one of those people who thinks that that In-N-Out's rated just fine. You know, I don't think it's overrated. I don't think it's underrated. I think it's a pretty good place. I like it. Their milkshakes are really tasty, and their animal fries are bomb. I think their burgers are solid. Like not super good, not super bad, just solid. You know. Yeah, okay, look, that was fun. I'm glad that, I mean, Malnab kind of just took over. He grabbed the mic. He's like, hey, I'm going to do an interview. And then he picks someone to interview. And then, boom, that's it. So you guys have seen your very first bit of Chris Malnab interviewing. And I'd love to get some more. So I can't promise anything. I can only do what the gods of the club of Reno 1868 FC let me do. But I'd like to have more of reporter Chris Malnab.
Yeah, that
Weekly
was fun. I
segment.
enjoyed that.
Let's do it. Weekly segment.
Yeah, I might actually push on that. I feel like it's a lot of fun. It brings something different to the table, and it's something I can do with just my iPhone. Like if I wanted to just whip it out. All right, Malnab, who are you interviewing today? You know, so it could be a pretty easy thing. It sounds like a lot of fun, and Benji seemed like a very fun guy. So young and innocent.
Sweet summer child.
Yeah, McDonald's. Yeah, that's you've got to be sweet and innocent if you're going with McDonald's, or maybe not. I don't know. All right, guys, I spent a pretty good portion between getting out of work and getting on the podcast here today, preparing for the podcast, and I have done all I can, and I've given you all that I've made. So my part is done. My part is done. Brad and Matt, what have you to provide for our fans today?
Who is going to steal news from who today?
Yeah, I know. I'll let you steal it this week.
Okay, let's talk about the pulled out of their butts USL power rankings for the preseason going into the season. Which
Who are rankings?
Poor rankings, yay!
Oh,
They even admit at the very beginning that it is like gut feeling. So there's really not a whole lot behind it.
What, they have like
Maybe.
a disclaimer at the very beginning?
Oh yeah. Because I know a lot of people bitch about it, like us. So
Yeah, we're about to. Let's go. Let's get
let's
this.
do it.
Yeah.
And some of these are based on the preseason form. Anything particularly stands out or impressive, but the top is what you would expect. Number one, Phoenix, because they love Phoenix, and they brought back most of their players from last season, so they're going to be
more.
just as dangerous.
Santi Moar's there now.
Oh,
They look scary.
yeah, like very scary. And then coming up in second, you have Louisville City to be expected. Indy 11 coming up next, and in fourth,
Surprise!
yeah, in fourth, Orange County.
Hmm.
Everyone's really high on Orange County in the preseason.
I feel like that's usually the case.
And
Like
then
I
they
feel like
prove
wasn't
everyone
it
wrong.
the same as last year?
They lose Michael Seaton and gain Seth Kasipli, and all of a sudden they're in fourth?
Seth Kasipli will do that to a team.
I know, but Michael Seaton was really good. He's now in Germany, but he's good. I don't know. It's a big loss and a big gain. It should be net even. They should be lower.
I'd say maybe a little lower, yeah.
You guys
But-
have no evidence.
Absolutely none.
A 0 to 0 to 0 evidence.
Where is
In
this
fact,
coming from?
everybody's
Your
tied for first.
imaginations or something?
Everyone's
Hopes and
tied
dreams,
for
man.
first.
Hopes and dreams. All right, so coming up in number 5, we have the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Number 6, Sac Republic. And right behind Sac, we have our good old boys in blue, Reno 1868 in 7th. Over the entire league, and with as much turnaround as we've had, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I think 7th is solid. I'm not complaining. No, none here.
And they make the remark that we've been the highest scoring side over the past 3 regular
Yeah.
seasons, so why will we stop now?
Cool.
And that's a pretty good point.
I dig it. Speed of
Number
wings.
8. Oh yeah. Number 8, we have the Monarchs in Salt Lake City. Number 9, we have the Miami FC. Yes,
Oh,
the
it looks so
Miami
ugly like
FC.
that.
And in 10th, New Mexico United. I think that looks like a pretty expected and pretty reasonable top 10. Maybe a couple of them shift around, but that makes a lot of sense.
A pretty solid majority of the teams in the top 10. Hold on, I'm counting real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 60% of the top 10 are West teams. Makes sense. Indeed.
Indeed, quite. But so
Wait,
we have our.
this is from an organization that favors the East. Wow, that's generous.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Maybe they're finally starting to shift or seeing the light that the West is best, but they'll learn if they haven't.
Oh yeah, they'll come around.
But our opponent on Friday, coming up, Tacoma Defiance, they are put pretty far down the power ranking list, as to be expected. They are a wooden spoon contender, and they came up in 31st place, just ahead of 32nd place Colorado Springs Switchbacks, and that kind of caps the worst of the West.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's going to be for the wooden spoon between those two. But Vegas is put in 30th, just above them. So are they going to be a contender?
Yeah.
Are they going to be too focused on promotionals to
course.
actually, try to win?
Yeah.
I could see that, but I don't know. I think overall this whole power ranking is it makes sense and it's total crap at the same time.
Yeah. That's why it's fun.
Yay!
I mean, we can go through and make a power ranking ourselves, the official Reno 18 or the official 1868 weekly power rankings, but they would be just as shite.
Mhm.
Look, I'm self-aware
Give
enough
us
to know.
5 or 6 weeks. Give us 5 or 6 weeks.
I do have an announcement, but I want to finish everything else that you guys want to talk about. So, Brad, you got nexties.
All right. Well, I'm just going to. I don't like talking about it. I don't want to talk about it. But Matt has deemed it worthy of talking about. And that is going back to the sideshow in the South. And let me just full screen it. Boop.
The sideshow in the South. I love it.
Yeah, they're doing this whole thing. I'm not even mentioning the team name. That team is doing a whole thing in the South where they are doing
What?
17 different home jerseys for
Mhm.
a grand total of 18 jerseys on the year. They are showing us what 2 of those jerseys look like, and they're saying that this is coming from the "You Create the Fans" thing, and they go on and say that it's revolutionary to the whole sport, and fapping their man meats over there about it. But I just want to point out on 9/26th, they have this event called Beat Reno Fan Appreciation Night. So I can take this 2 different ways. It's saying Beat Reno Fan Appreciation, so they want to beat us up physically, which I take offense to, being a Reno fan. Or 2, that they're trying to say something that hasn't ever happened in club history. The closest they have come is a draw, which, isn't a win.
Right.
But 17 different home jerseys. Some of these are the Great American Llama Derby, Night of the Soccer Mom, Paws on the Pitch, Dad Day, back to school night, $5,000 cash drop as if they learned something from the last
Yikes.
time. Water extravaganza. What is that, like instead of beer pong, water pong? Is that where they all, instead of having those little kiddie pools on the side, they get like an Olympic sized swimming pool on the side of their soccer pitch? I don't know. It's stupid. And that's why I haven't named the team. If you are listening to this on SoundCloud, you should jump over to YouTube. But
Oh, they know.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
they
know.
know.
Yeah.
everybody knows I am done with them, and yet I still talk about them.
Jeez. Well, it's you can't not talk about the joke of the South.
Hmm
Look,
I have
part of
refused
what we
say
like
their
to do
name.
is make people smile, and Las Vegas makes our job so much easier because
Oh my
all of the
gosh.
dumb things they do,
It
all
makes
we have to do is
bar-
announce it, and it makes people smile.
It makes the bar so low that it's not even, every other team in the league gets a free pass to try stupid stuff because they are the stupid stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty. It was my understanding that there were limits to how many different kinds of jerseys you could wear on the pitch in the USL.
In other sports, yes.
Oh, okay.
In
Maybe
other
I
sports,
just
yes. I
assumed.
don't think the USL. I think
Okay.
in the MLS you're allowed 1 home, 1 away, and maybe 1 alternate.
Mm.
MLS is no fun.
In the NFL, you're allowed only 1 home, 1 away, and 1 alternate, and the helmet has to be the same
Right.
for every jersey. You can't change the color of your helmet.
Yeah. And I think
Special
it's
exceptions,
the same with NHL. Well, not
NHL,
so much
no,
the
they
helmets, but
the NHL does different things. They have the special event jerseys, and baseball is also the same way. They
yeah.
have their
A
special
lot of
event
special
jerseys.
events.
Los
Yeah.
Tiburones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
But soccer, I don't think the USL has a
I don't think there is.
Either way, Vegas probably asked, or the USL just said, "Do whatever, we
Right.
don't care."
You know,
wait, I
we're
said
just
the
we're just
name.
not going to look.
That's-
We're just going to turn a blind
yeah,
eye to
that's
that.
pretty bad. All right, so there are two things I want to talk about, and I feel like that's a good segue. Are you guys good on what you talked about? Because
good.
we're about 50 minutes in, and we still have some stuff to talk about.
Cool.
All right, cool. Yeah, you guys are good. All right, so one of those things that I do want to talk about are Reno 1868 FC's promotions, which have just been announced. At least I got in a press release earlier today. A soccer ball giveaway on June 6th against Rio Grande Valley FC. A scarf giveaway on August 1st. Oh my
First.
jeez. On August 1st against Real Monarchs SLC. Post-game fireworks on July 3rd, July 18th, and August 29th. I'm telling you guys these so that you can mark it down on your calendars. If you're not going to all these games, which you should be, then you can mark these down on your calendars. One of my favorite nights of the year for Reno 1868 FC, Cinco de Mayo night. That's going to be on May 2nd against El Paso Locomotive FC. It's a great team to play that night, too.
Agreed.
Noche Latino, another very fun night. It's going to be September 19th against San Diego Loyal. SC. Can't forget that SC, right? Cool.
Yeah.
Rad. Some fun promotions. I feel like there will be a bobblehead, and
I feel
will
like
need,
this is yeah.
I will need to fight for the death or to the death for a bobblehead again. I remember I had Evelyn brave the cold to get me that Dane Kelly bobblehead, and then how the heck did I get the Kevin Partita one?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Magic.
I have no idea. Look, I'm scrapping to get these. Okay, I just want to get them the right way. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm sure something fun will come up, like a Corey Herzog bobblehead. I'd love a Matt Bersano one. He's overdue for one.
Yeah, no kidding.
Brent Richards, maybe.
Only if the Matt Bersano one has a man bun.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. All right, so here's the big announcement, right? Okay, so that was fun. So a little bit of promotional stuff for the team. We gotta pick them, guys. It's time. We're back. We're all 0-0-0.
Oh,
It
I
is
forgot.
time. Yes. Oh, I remember the whole time. I'm like, I'm gonna bring this up to him the very last minute, and we have the very last minute. So, firstly, before we start, and we're gonna start with Brad. Oh yes.
Oh, goody.
We're starting
Uh-oh.
with Brad Polanski. You guys get ready to take notes, but before you do, I'm challenging everyone who's watching this right now. Last year, we started this a little bit late. Matt took a strong lead, a very strong lead. And then who came out on top? This guy. But it's not like I didn't have challenges. Brad was on me. Roy of Douglas Alley Renegades was on me. DJ. We had Laura. We had Harry. Oh boy, we had a lot of people playing. But look, you can only have one champion, and this time it was me. Next time it could be you. I feel like the goal here one day is to get some sort of like victory pennant. Like a wooden spoon or something.
no, but that's a bad thing.
No, that was like a joke. Anyway, that might be something in the future. I think that'd be fun. I've always wanted to make a shirt for fantasy football that said I beat a bunch of nobodies at fantasy football. So I think it'd be fun to say like I beat a bunch of nobodies on 1868 weekly pick'em or something like that. I think that'd be fun. Something like that. So give us your best predictions. I'm talking how many goals each team will score on Friday, and I'm talking who will score them. The who is always the tiebreaker. Brad, Show them how it's done. How do we do this
All
pick'em
right.
game?
So I'm going to make my player to score that I will predict every week this year. I did the same thing with Corey last year. My man,
Okay.
Cheetah.
All right.
Cheetah is going to score 1 goal this week. But that's not all. No, we're going big with the first week.
All right.
I got 2 from the man that scored 2 in the preseason, Corey. And I also have 1 from Foster Langsdorff. Foster is my prediction to be the new Pacific Northwest Destroyer.
Oh.
He's coming from there, from Portland. He's scoring 1. And then Tacoma will get 1 back, but it's already going to be in the too little, too late moments. It's 4-1 this week. We're going big. Watch it be right.
4-1, and just
So
to confirm,
confident.
we got Corey Herzog with 2,
Yes.
so X2, and then you've got
Cheetah.
Mr. Cheetah,
Mr.
Sorry,
Cheetah.
Senor
dude.
Cheetah.
Mr.
He
Cheetah,
is from, yep,
and
and
then
then,
Foster Langsdorff. All right,
Langsdorff. Yes.
dang, that Herzog times 2. Now that's interesting. It's totally possible. 4-1. All
He
right.
did it this past week.
All right. He did. You're right. Matt.
Me.
What's the good word, man? How you going to beat Brad this week?
Okay. So, I'm not dumb. So I have to put 1 goal for Corey. It's almost guaranteed. You
Right,
have to throw 1 down for Corey. So I also need to switch it up a little bit. So I want to say that the second goal is going to come from Kevin Partita. The third goal is going to come from Aiden Apodaca. And the final score is going to be 3-2. The attack is clicking. The defense isn't quite there yet.
All right. So we've got 3-2 victory for Reno, Corey, Partita, and Apodaca. And I'm going to write down mine as I say them. So I'm going to switch the camera, and I'm going to be looking down. Not at the camera, sorry. I'm rude, I guess. I'm going to go to 2-0. A little bit more modest than you two. And who's this guy that we're all picking that it would be crazy if one of us didn't? It's going to be Corey Herzog, baby. You know he's going to score. Got Corey Herzog down for 1. And then my other one, the guy who I feel it in my gut will be starting on Friday. Sam Gleedle. Watch it. Wing. Speed. Fast. Score. Goal. That's going to be Sam Gleedle, baby. Oh, you know it. I got 2-0 victory with Corey Herzog and Sam Gleedle. Easy peasy, baby. Easy peasy.
There's some good variety
guys-
this week. Way to start out the season right, guys.
Oh, I feel it. Our baby Yoda's going to score. I know it. I know it.
What about your grizzled veteran?
Our grizzled veteran will also score. Oh, no, maybe not. But he will play, and he will play a shutout match.
There you go.
I mean,
That's
if
what'll
you're
happen.
Matt, the Mandalorian / grizzled veteran will score for you.
Right here,
Did
Brad.
you say?
Yeah, right here.
Oh yes, I too communicate with the birds.
All right, guys. Yeah, this is it. So this is our first official prediction of the season. Kind of exciting, right? It's fun. I love this. And I'm going to love getting these first points. Also, shout out to Retro Sports, who just joined us in the comments. Good day to you, sir. Unfortunately, you're kind of coming around the end of the episode, my friend. We've got about 5 minutes to do random thoughts, Brad. You know what? You picked first. I'm going to let Matt go first. Matt, what's your random thought, buddy?
Okay. So in the recovery phase, well, at the end of the recovery phase of this weekend, after a grueling week followed by an out-of-shape outing in the supporters section, jumping around and screaming and banging on drums, I was barely human. And so Angela and I decided we needed some big, massive meal for recovery, something really hearty. So we went to one of our favorite restaurants in town, Zozo's. If you guys have not been, you must. It is In our opinions, the best Italian in town. I have either Chopino every time. I can't get anything else because it's that damn good, and it's the best Chopino I've ever had. And I could recommend it to anybody. It's a tiny, tiny little hole in the wall. I'm sure you've driven past plenty of times. Right in the corner of Lakeside and Moana. Go check it out.
All right, yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's the place where the old Godfathers is, right? Or was.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Godfathers.
Oh man.
All right, Brad, what's your random thought?
All right, I got two for you. The first is, well, these are both completely random for once. The first is retro sports. Looking forward to talking about your guys' Oklahoma City next week. That's the podcast for Oklahoma City Energy. So looking forward to talking about how we are going to beat you on the following
Come
weekend.
back for predictions.
No, in all seriousness, their team, Oklahoma City, did get a lot better over the offseason, so looking forward to that game a lot. But my real random thought has to do with what Matt just said about Zozo's. I drove by it today. It was not on purpose. I don't know how this happened, but on my normal commute path back, which is on Plumas, there was a huge accident. Blocked every single lane. I had to take a detour over past Zozo's. Be safe on the roads, people, because accidents happen, and I know John talks about it more often than not, because he is our news guy. But be safe on the roads, people. Okay. I hope everyone in that accident that I drove by, it shut down all the lanes of the road. I hope the people are okay there, though.
All right, that's your traffic update for for today. Normally it's vehicle versus pedestrian, but I'm glad that one's a little bit different. Yeah. So my random thought is I don't have a random thought. I have a premeditated thought, and that is
Brad thought.
I am stoked for this season to start. So stoked. My only wish is that Reno started the season at home. But I understand that can't always happen, and that's fine because we're going to be cheering for him anyway on Friday. Be there, guys. Be there. It's going to be fun. You get to see Matt and I. If you listen to the podcast and you haven't met us, this is a perfect opportunity. We have a few people like that. So, come and check it out wherever it'll be. Keep an eye on social medias. This is a good time to do social media spiels. Check out 1868 Weekly on Twitter. And then, of course, subscribe to us right now if you're watching. That way you get updates on when we talk trash about your team or we're just on and you want to see our beautiful beards. And Brad's beautiful mustache, which is actually looking pretty good. I think that's the first time I've ever complimented Brad's facial hair on the show. So maybe that's what we'll call it. Brad's facial hair will be the title of today's episode. And I'm just kidding, Brad. And
My radio face, as Roy calls it.
And check out Reno 1868 FC, obviously, their social media if you haven't. And then last but not least, feel free to check out mine, John Macaluso, all across the board. Macaluso is a pretty unique name. Should be pretty easy to find me. Brad, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter a lot at Pal in the Sky. And basically everywhere else under the same name.
And Matt.
All right, you can find me mostly on the Reddits, sometimes on the Twitters. My username on both is Raf Out Loud with underscores between each word.
All right, and well, that's about it, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Retro Sports, come back. We'll be talking about our teams soon, and we'd like to hear back from you. And everyone else who's watching, thank you guys so much for joining. Let's get out of here, Brad.
All right. John forgot to say, but don't forget to follow us on YouTube, on Twitter. We have a Facebook page that John still needs to figure out how to actually make me a mod of.
I did not forget this. You weren't listening, Brad.
Oh, well, don't forget to make me a...
Wow.
Boo.
I'm sorry. Check out that comment, Retro Sports.
In Ian we trust. And...
Vamos
Azules!
I'll see you guys.
Tried to throw a curveball.
Bye, everybody.